Hey, family. Well, you know what? I'm in the kitchen again. Hello, kindreds, family, friends, and adversaries. Look, I'm in the kitchen because, I really like it in here. Nice atmosphere in the kitchen, lots of lights, and I can just, I don't know, I like swaying and dancing when I talk and everything. It just seems like it's just everything just move a little bit more smoother when I'm doing my videos, swaying or whatever. And it gets rid of some of the stage fright. Mama has stage fright sometimes. It's very hot. I'm bringing you Mama Spiritually live here in Birmingham, Alabama. I don't even know if I should say that, because y'all know I got some stalkers out there. I got some obsessed. I don't know if you call them obsessed fans or obsessed cuckoos or what, but I do have some obsessive compulsive people out there, and so Mama got to be careful. Now I say Birmingham, but really and truly, I'm not directly in Birmingham. I cannot really disclose exactly where I am because of the cuckoos. There are some people who, eat, breathe, sleep, and just their whole life is centered around spiritually. And I've gotten some weird phone calls from them. I've gotten some weird emails from them. There are some very sick people, they do not understand how to separate reality from YouTube. In other words, this is their life. YouTube is their life. It's okay to make YouTube your life if you're learning something, if you're teaching something, or you're gaining something to take care of to sustain your life here in America, in this society where inflation is out of control, and it's getting very difficult to make the ends meet here in America. But I won't just say America, because there are some people who are listening to me and watching me outside of the United States of America, and it may be difficult where they are too. So if you are an obsessive compulsive person and you are starting to distort reality, okay, and YouTube, and they're just merging together, and you are at a point where you're watching a person so much until you're at the point of trying to come to them without permission to come to them, contacting them, emailing them, calling them without permission, then you need to go out and get yourself some psychiatric help. You may think that what you're doing is going to be for the benefit of society, but if you're coming up on people without their permission, then you are one of those people who are severely mentally ill. There is no one on YouTube that I am going to call and harass, run to their homes, cyber stalking them, trying to figure out where they live, their address. I mean, I really wouldn't have much time to do that, because if you're focusing on your come up, then you do not have time, okay, necessarily, to be engaging yourself in cyber stalking. Okay, so all of those people who are like that, trying to, you do to detective work to figure out where these YouTubers are, their phone numbers, and just doing all kind of things that are very bizarre. If you're one of those people, I am urging you right now, okay, to go out and get you a psychiatrist. They take care of things like that. That means you have some obsessive compulsive tendencies, and you could be a danger to society. So do society a favor and go out and get you some help. Rather than for me to be stalking any YouTubers out there, I would rather just exhaust all of that energy that I have to do me, to show who I am, to make money for myself, do me, you know what I'm saying? Because energy is real hard to come by. I know because I'm an energy vamp, you know what I'm saying? Myself, and I exhaust a lot of energy mentally, physically, spiritually, doing things for myself, my family, and friends and everything. So I don't have that extra energy. And if you do, I'm urging you to take that energy and make you more energy like Monet, Moolah. Okay? Hang on 1 minute, y'all. So I'm drinking some grape juice. I usually get my grape juice from the Whole Food store. But I got this right here from Piggly Wiggly. For all of you all who do not know what a Piggly Wiggly is, and I want to talk about some Southern terms and, things we say here in the South and everything. Because I found that there are some people who really want to learn more about the Southern states in the United States of America. And that's where I reside. That's where I was raised and born. And I kind of would like to talk about it a little bit. Y'all see me looking over here because I'm looking at people in the White House barbecuing and grilling in the yard, So I'm just looking over there. So, but anyway, Piggly Wiggly is a grocery store. Not quite like a market. I know some people don't know what a grocery store is if you're living on the outside of America. A grocery store is kind of similar to a market. It's a place where you go and you buy foods and stuff like that. Only, a market is a little bit different because when you go to a market, you're buying fresh foods that are not processed, and they may be pickled and canned, during the canning process, but they're not processed. Grocery stores contain a lot of processed foods. What is a processed food? Foods that have been preserved with different toxins. I'm just going to be honest with you, like BHT, and there's so many of them, man. Monochloride and just all kind of bizarre stuff, and a lot of sodium. Sodium can be very dangerous, especially table sodium or table salt, because they use so many chemicals to create a crystal form of itself, and all of those chemicals can do a lot of harm to the body, especially for people who suffer from high blood pressure like myself. I need a very low sodium intake every day. I don't need the amount that the nutritionists say you should get in a day. They say 1,200 to 1,500 milligrams of sodium, and I don't need that, honey. I don't really need much of it at all, but about 200 or 300 milligrams, because you're still gonna need sodium. But if you are one of those people who get really sick from table salt, there are some alternatives, because you do need a little bit of sodium in your food, because that's the way your body conducts its chemistry within to keep you alive. So you got to have some sodium. You got to have some potassium, not too much. Too much of either of those are dangerous. They got to be at a balance. So a good alternative, hang on a minute, would be like this. Tropical Magic Goods. I guess I'm giving them a shout out. Himalayan mountain salt. Very good. Doesn't run up my pressure. It's still sodium, but it's natural. It's organic. Okay? Doesn't have all those chemicals in it like, Morton salt. When it rains, it pours salt. Hang on. Good seasonings. And I'm telling you, man, this tastes so good. Besides Mrs. Dash, a lot of people who are on a low sodium diet would They would love Mrs. Dash, but this is a good one too. This one came from India. I order all my herbs and salts from offline. I'm trying to see what the name of it is because I may have to order some more of this. It's written in it's written in another language. It's called. Can y'all see? Well, you won't be able to see this, but anyway, let me read it to you. It's called a Asafoetida powder. It's spelled Asafoetida powder. Okay, you can order this right here off eBay. And oh my God, I eat a lot of beans and a lot of rice because, as you all know, rice is my favorite. You know, if I had to be, if they told me my limit of one food would have to be something, it would be rice. If I couldn't eat anything else in the world, I want to make sure I'm still able to eat some rice. And that's what I put this in. Rice and beans is primarily my diet. And I don't eat beef and pork. I can't eat pork because I have high blood pressure. Now, I'm just going to be honest. If I could, I would eat it. Mama can taste some pickled pig feet right now. Now, a lot of folks might not know what pickled pig feet. Pickled pig feet is where they take the hog's leg, a part of his leg, and they put it in a pickling solution, and with some herbs and let it pickle. And then a lot of people, just like to sit there. But you have to cook it first and sit there and eat it. Back to the farmer's market. When I was a little girl, oh my God, they had fried peanuts out there, boiled peanuts, a lot of pickled pig feet, fried pork rinds. What is fried pork rind? Down here in the South, a fried pork rind is the skin off of the hog. They cut it. Because, you got to realize in them days, way back, when you go far back, they didn't have grocery stores and they didn't have too many markets. If you were going to eat, you would have had to raise your own hogs, chickens, livestock, and fruits and vegetables, or barter or team with other families in the community in order to eat. You grew your own corn, you grew your own rice, potatoes, tomatoes, onions. You grew staples. You grew all of these things, legumes, which are beans. You were responsible for yourself. There was no government funding and stuff. If so, it's called rationing. That's another thing they use down south. Rationing. What is rationing? That's when the government comes in and give you so much of this and so much of that so you can sustain your life. They give you big old bags. Gosh, I wish I had examples of some of that stuff, because I know somebody, wrote me and said, I want to hear more information on Paul Willie. And then somebody else said, I just would like to know more about, how it was in those days, because as a little girl, we would get these big bags. I don't know if y'all ever seen them. Flour bags like that big, 10 pound, 5 pounds, probably 5 pound bag of flour, and it was in cloth. It was a cloth bag, and inside of it would be filled with flour. I remember one time y'all, I'm just going to do a little bit of storytelling. I remember one time, y'all, I had caught the worms. Yeah, I had caught intestinal worms a little bit. We call them pinworms. I caught them because my mom had bought bags of flour, and they were full of pinworms. And I used to go in there and grab them and look at them as they moved, whatever they got in my skin. And I caught pinworms from holding that stuff, and looking at them, moving around in there. Sometimes you'll find some occasional pinworms, weevils. A lot of people don't know what weevils are. Weevils are these little tiny bugs that get in your rice and grits and things that sit, because in the days they had to let that stuff sit. You get so many bags of flour to sustain life in the wintertime because you couldn't grow really any food then, you know what I'm saying? And so bugs would get in it, and weevils would be these little tiny brown bugs that live in the rice. So You know, back in the days, you wash that rice real good, get the weevils out because they couldn't afford to throw it away. Now we can afford to go to the grocery and say, hey, look, there's some bugs in this, you know. I found even here recently weevils in some rice. So it still happens. So watch it, because a lot of the time in these stores, they don't put these expiration dates on this food. They just push it out. And that's what they do. They sell it anyway, whatever. So, God, y'all, it's so hot in Alabama. It's almost like my air conditioner is doing nothing. Now, as we talked about it, you know they're conditioning the weather. In the wintertime, they'll give you rain, because rain actually changes the temperature. Rain from the sky changes the temperature, which that is not natural, guys. That is all, you know, man-made weather if your rain is coming from the sky. And what they do that not only just to water what the vegetation that's down on the earth, but the main reason they do that is to change the elements out there, to change the weather, you know, to make it more cooler then, you know. And but you know, they do a lot of that in the wintertime because they really want to keep it cool in the winter, cold in the winter. But in the summertime, it's not that important. So once you get to about May, June-ish, they stop the rain. Now I'm only talking about here where I am, here in Alabama, because I've noticed that everybody has different weather conditions in the United States. They're not all the same. Okay, so I'm only speaking for this area of Alabama. I'm in central Alabama, so that's the way they do. It's all, I mean, I keep a log on how the weather is day by day by day, year by year by year, do a comparison. So I noticed that the drought always began in mid-May till about September. It's going to stay a drought. You may get rain at least once a month. Here where I am, once a month. I noticed that when they do make it rain during the drought period, the water bill goes up. Now, I'm not talking about everybody. You just judge and do your own record keeping to see how it is over there in your neck of the woods. But that's the way it is here. Because like once again, I told you all, they have the ability to control how much water is given to a particular, you know, area. You know, it varies. I've gone on 280, which 280 is where most of the rich people live. And it was just raining cats and dogs. And then get back on my side and the sun is out and it's a drought. So, you know, like I say, you know, if you have the money, you can actually pay them to allow rain just on your particular property. You know, there are a lot of farmers. That's why it's a no-win situation when it comes to farming, because if you're not connected with the government in some kind of a way, whether you're connected with them to produce GMOs, what is GMOs? Genetically modified foods. You know what I'm saying? GMO, I'm thinking it's genetically modified. It's a genetically modified organization. I'm not sure what the O is, but you know, genetically modified means that they have gone in and have altered the DNA of the food to make a larger supply. They do that a lot with corn. If you got corn and they're not straight rows, the cobs, the corn and the cob, it's not straight rows, more than likely you're dealing with a GMO, okay? That means they've gone in a laboratory and they've tweaked it a little bit, which is poisonous. Like an idea of something like that is cutting open an apple, and the apple has no seeds in it, or teeny weeny seeds that just don't look right, or cutting open a melon and there are no seeds in it. That's poisonous. It causes cancer. You know, we're full of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because it's been going on for so long. I found out that nectarines, well, I found this out a long time ago, nectarines are actually GMO. It's actually a plum and a peach that's put together to produce a food with no peach furs, no hairiness, because a lot of people are allergic. I'm allergic to peach furs. And when it touches my skin, I break out and swell up, so I can't touch that. I love peaches, that can't touch the skin of one. I'm also allergic to just anything on a birch tree, pecans, um, um, kiwis. I cannot eat a kiwi fruit. I can't eat anything hairy. You know what I'm saying? So, and I really don't supposed to be eating peanuts. Sometimes I have a reaction. Sometimes I don't. I was actually hospital with a peanut allergy and everything. But once I had my children, I was able to eat them again. But every now and then I have like a reaction to them and stuff. But I try to be real, real careful. If I eat them kind of like raw, here's a bag of them. I got these from the farmer's market. It is not so bad. Valencia in shell peanuts, pushing the cream of the crop. And these right here were pulled out of the ground because peanuts grow from the ground from New Mexico. Portales, New Mexico. Wherever that is, okay? And in Mexico, they can grow things year round. They just have a rainy season. Whereas here, we produce so much for the season. Now, right now, this is the growing time for us right now. This little small window, where you can plant. But in Mexico, they can just keep planting. But we're going to have a winter season coming up soon. So if you don't get it on in there now, then it's too late. You can plant from now all the way to August. After August, it's no sense in planting anything because most vegetables need about 60 to 90 days to fruit. We're going from the seed. So, I just wanted to kind of give y'all an idea of some of the things, some of the things they say in the South, and the things they do here in the South. I went out today, and I always go to the garden, and I cut me from my own rose bushes a bouquet of flowers of roses. This one right here is my favorite. This is love. I love the red ones too. This is set. Look, check this out, y'all. So, it's wonderful to have rose bushes because the fun of it is not just going out there and people looking and say, "Oh, what beautiful roses!" The fact that that's what I love about roses. If you can clip them, and the more you clip them and bring them in and put them in your vase, the more they produce flowers. If you are not clipping those roses off, okay, then your rose bush will go into like a state of shock, and they will stop producing roses. They won't produce anymore. So you have to clip those off. And the more you clip them, the more new shoots come with blooms. How beautiful. Now, that's just your ordinary rose bushes. Ordinary rose bushes are very finicky and they're difficult to take care of. I'm going to take y'all on a tour in the back and on the front. And I want you all to kind of get an idea of the different roses. I have climbing roses, or roses that like to climb. So you need trellises, or you need to train them up, whatever you have, like fences, the wall of your house, banisters, that's the climbing rose. Usually the climbing rose only produces roses once a year, okay? Then you have your knockout rose. The knockout rose is a beautiful rose for those who are not what's the word, a pro at regular roses, because regular roses are difficult, and some people have mastered rose bushes. There's so many roses out there until most masters master at least 1 to 2 rose bushes, but then there are so many other rose bushes that they haven't mastered, so. And some people even come up with their own roses and they name them, after themselves. I know a lady on my job. She actually would take her rose bush and she would propagate or graft a pink rose with a white rose and all these different color roses, and she would produce a multicolored rose. She was just that good. That green thumb was good. And a matter of fact, her name was Rose. Rose, where are you? You baked some of the best red velvet cakes you could cook too. And so yeah, the knockout rose is one you want to go with right there. The knockout rose, because it's very user friendly or garden friendly, especially to the person that is new in the garden, because you don't have to do anything to it. You know, if you don't, and they bloom just. A lot of people say they bloom all summer long, but they do have a period where they'll, at the beginning of spring, shoot out some roses, die out, wait a while, beginning of summer, shoot out some more roses, wait a minute, and shoot some more for fall. So they really do it 3 times, really. I really counted it. It's not really just a year round. But when you're dealing, so do that knockout rose, because and it grows fast. And it puts out a show, man. I'm telling you, it's beautiful. They're very expensive because you don't have to do anything to it. It's very resistant to diseases. Now, when you get into these roses, they are very difficult. Why? Because they require so much pampering, so much love, lots of fertilizing, sorry. So you have to fertilize this rose, meaning that you go to the Home Depot and you get you a little jug of granulated rose food, and right at fall you want to put something on it. Bam, you hit it right at the root. Come back right at spring, bam, you hit the root. Right at summer, bam. It will do it up into 6 months. So you're gonna keep hitting those roots with fertilizer. And they are very susceptible to that leaf fungus. You get some with a lot of little holes. I got climbing rose. They got a lot of them on there. The little things biting in them, and I think they call them aphids. They like to eat the leaves and stuff, and fungus causing that yellowing and those dots and spots. And so you have to get something to treat that. I have not quite yet learn what treats it well, but I got my own little home remedy where I just take me an old used liquid washing powder. I'll use it and fill it up with water after I've used all the washing liquid out of it, and I'll shake it up, get it all bubbly, and I'll hit the roots and spray. Hit those roots with it too. You know, a little bit of dish detergent and water in a spray bottle, or some of your washing liquid if you got something else. You know, and hit those leaves, because the aphids they do not like it, and the fungus can't get on the leaves like they want to. But that's why I say those rose bushes require lots and lots and lots of care. But when you have them, oh my God, it's just like you are the envy of the neighborhood. Especially, I've seen some people with roses so big. I mean, they're just all hanging all down. A rose is just like, and those are your pros when it comes to those roses and stuff. And another thing, if you don't want to run your water bill up, the rose bush is not going to be for you, because, this particular rose bush requires lots of water. The finicky ones, but the knockout rose, it'll wait. Oh, you're not gonna rain for 30 days? Okay, well, I'll just wait on the next rain. It'll keep on blooming. It's just like a resistant, shrub or something, Only thing about it, it's gonna lose its leaves. All roses lose their leaves come winter. They won't have any leaves on them, so they're not evergreen. But I just wanted to talk about that, y'all, and I still got those lettuces going over there in the corner over there. What I like about them, you can just chop leaves out every day, and they just shoot new ones up. They just don't care. And what's good about it is when you run out, what you do, you get this right here. This is by Farron Morse, and you just sprinkle some on top of some soil, and keep them watered, and you got lettuce again. It don't take them no time. I think it took those lettuce like a month to get tall. 1 month. You can do it all throughout the season, even in the wintertime, you can grow lettuce. That's what I like about it. And so I want to talk to y'all about something. Okay? Give me just a minute. Let me rinse my fingers off. Well, should I do it next video, y'all? Look, y'all. Y'all better listen to me when I'm telling y'all stuff about this government. Because a lot of folks just say, Mama crazy and she don't know what she's talking about and everything. Y'all listen to me. This weather, I'm going to go back to that again. Look, I'll be back. This weather ain't real, y'all. Weather ain't real. I found something out. Found something out, y'all. And every so often, your federal government is going to snuff so many of us out every year. What year is the snuff out month? What year is the month of the snuff out? August. Look it up so you'll know I ain't lying. More people die in August, okay, than any other year. That's the year. August is not. August, September, and October, that's when the death gate opens. The death gate opens, and also the stargate opens to allow others in. Okay? Check that out. Look it up. I'm not lying to you. So what that means is this. You will be finding a lot of folks, okay, especially in the summertime, because summertime is so dangerous. So you can kind of understand why the government is kind of conditioning our weather here and everything. It's more to it than you can imagine. You know what I'm saying? But these temperatures, they get so soaring hot down here in the southern hemisphere until, you know what I'm saying, a lot of folks, they don't survive. But your government, in order to satisfy the appetite of all of those dark hierarchies that keeps them in power, they have to feed the souls and the spirits of so many, I'm going to just talk about Americans to that deity, to that entity, okay? And that's how they stay in power. And at the same time, too, if you want some power, and you figure out who your hierarchy of demons and gods and deities are, you can also make sacrifices to them. And a lot of that is going on. Especially people talk about it in the music industry. How true that is, I'm not sure. But it does make a lot of sense. Because if you can sacrifice to a powerful deity something that's so dear to you, that's why it's called sacrifice, then you guess what? They'll serve you even more. You understand? Not telling you do this but I'm just saying how sometimes it works. Like if your mom mean a whole lot to you and you can sacrifice your mother, and I don't like talking about things like that, and you say, I want to be rich and famous or whatever, and you sacrifice this person to this powerful dark entity, then guess what? What you ask for, you're going to get. And it could be a small sacrifice. You may want to make a little small sacrifice. Okay, but they're not going to do too much for that. But just think about it. if you had the power to do a mass sacrificing, then guess what, man? You can almost own the world. So that's how these things work. So that's why come August, that's when they talliate all of the statistics of all of the, people or bodies or whatever, spirits that they're going to sacrifice to this great God of theirs. Okay. Now, a lot of people might think, hey, this woman really, she just really just losing it. Man. Y'all need to look up, do a lot of reading on the Illuminati and the Bohemian Grove. Am I saying it right, y'all? There's some people out there know what I'm talking about. But if I have said it incorrectly, please go down in the comment section and put the correct spelling there so that they can do some research on that. Okay? Because a lot of that goes on. A lot of sacrificing of babies. They have so much control of your lives. So many male child babies being sacrificed in hospitals and stuff like that, And I can pretty much say this. Somebody say, "Oh, you risking your life saying this?" No, I'm not, because I'm not an influence. So, but now, if I was an influence, if I was Oprah Winfrey, on TV saying this, it'd be a different story, guys. But I'm here on YouTube. They always put me in a nice little cuddly spot where they know people can't find me, and that works out for my good. You know what I'm saying? So I can show you a lot of secrets, show you a lot of things that the spirits have allowed me in on. And I'm going to share some things with you that are going to be very deep. So I think this is a very private place for like-minded people like us. And what I talk about, it just doesn't go anywhere because, basically what they're going to say, oh, she's a schizophrenic or schizotypical. She has bipolar disorder. She's borderline. Let me think of all of them now. Borderline personality, post-traumatic stress disorder, y'all, am I missing any of them? Multiple personality disorder. I'm an exhibitionist. Some type of drug addict. I'm addicted to crack. I'm addicted to heroin. I'm hallucinating because I take. I'm on all these different hallucinogens. I take LSD. They're going to say some things like that. Anything to discredit you. They can look at it and say, hey, this lady, she's just bonkers or whatever. She's off her rocker. She flew over the cuckoo's nest or whatever. She's just damn crazy. Then I can pretty much say what I want and get it out there to you all because there's a lot of people here just to have fun, to laugh. And there are some serious people out there that say, hey, look, I had been thinking like that. So I just found this sister out there, and I cannot remember your name, give you a shout out. And what she described is so similar to what I am going through, like with the doctors and stuff, a difficult time with the doctors. It's like everybody is in on it. It almost seems like everybody out to get you, but you got to kind of like, make sure you just don't go overboard with it. You know what I'm saying? But because some of it could just be your own energy that you're sending out there. Hey, look, everybody's out here to get me. And then people come for you, And so you got to be mindful of that energy you put out. But honey, I've gone to doctors, haven't gotten the best treatment. It's sometimes I feel like a target. Look up bullying and harassment, targets, look up that stuff, So a lot of us, we suffer from those things, you know what I'm saying? People like us because, the government don't have to really go after you if they want to silence you, if you're getting on their nerves. They basically go after the people who are a big influence to society. Those are the people that are believable, people that are popular, people like myself. They don't put too much energy into going after us when all they got to do is use microwave energy weapons on people like us. And I'm going to give you an idea of what that feels like and what your life is like and what you go through. As I told you all, they have been watching me for quite a bit of time. I first started, seeing it and noticing it um about 2004. Because once you get in the system and they figure out who you are, I mean, you're just stamped just like a wild animal, and they research you and they study you. You know what I'm saying? From there, they have almost control over everything in your life, what you think, what you believe, and how you constantly fighting with a force that you cannot feel, touch, or see anywhere. You know what I'm saying? And look up shadowy governments. So it's just not your only. The government is the physical government is not the only government out there. Okay, there are many facets to your government, all the way to the invisible and shadowy government. Look it up. Just don't take my word for it. Don't just pass it up and say, "Mama's just crazy." Look it up. Shadowy government, paranormal. Look at those things. Give you more information. In other words, what I'm saying is this right here. Once they discover who you are, your life from there is like hell, and it's miserable almost. They can make you real miserable because they want to watch you deteriorate slowly. They don't want to take you up straight on out. Why? I'll never know. If you're a huge threat, because they don't want you to know the secrets, they're gonna get you out here now. You just gonna be gone, okay? But if they see that you're not that a major threat, then they'll just sit down and they laugh at you and they watch you just slowly be tortured. And they ain't really interested in you dying anytime soon. They just make like a lab rat out of you, and they test you and they watch you. People say, how do they watch you? They watch you through your laptop. If you got one of those webcams, they watch you through those DVD boxes, DVR boxes. They watch you through your TV screens. Technology has gotten so far where they can actually have a camera inside your television and be sitting there monitoring every household in America. Don't take it from me. Do your own research. Like I said, I'm not here to preach, because preaching means that you got to take my word for it. I'm out here to teach. Teaching means that you got to do your own research. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm doing. I'm not trying to convince anybody here to believe anything I believe in. Most people who are here, they think to have fun, but they are learning something, and I do have their attention. So I have some will and power of them, believe it or not. If you don't want to believe it, keep coming. I have power and control over your mind. And others are here because they are learning something. They're saying to themselves, hey, this woman got a point. I got to hear more. You know what I'm saying? And now that, people are moving from the church, especially women, and taking charge of their own spirituality, their own destiny, and they realize that there is so much more to this place we call Earth. You understand what I'm saying? It's a beautiful day, but then at the same time, too, it's a threat because women control life. They are in full control, whether you want to believe that woman is or not. A lot of people like to discredit women and say, oh, they're nothing but fun bags or just, entertainment or whatever. But a woman is much more powerful than that because she can bring life or decide not to bring life on this planet. And that's basically the way it is. That's a God. That's a God and a goddess all wrapped in one. And really, a man's power is very limited, and more women are taking over the planet than ever. At least where I'm looking at from here. Now, of course, I can't really speak for the outside, but I know a lot of changes are being made for women. At one time, this planet was ruled by women. Women have so much power, but for this little small, brief moment of patriarchy, we have given our powers to men. That's what we have done. How it got like that, not quite sure. but I see things moving in a whole nother direction. Women are taking control. The women are getting most of the jobs, earning most of the income now, especially in the black community. Most of the black men in the African American community are going in some strange direction, all the way to just being a child, all the way to just going somewhere else, to find love. A lot of that is going on, and you know, I've heard that, I've heard them say that, black women are very masculine, but, the reason that's nature, because that's how nature works. If something is cut off, then nature fix it by compensating and creating a situation where this particular um, species of being can go on without whatever that was cut off from it, so to speak. Like if a person have trouble with a kidney and they take that kidney out, then the other kidney will become larger. It will, because it's what it's trying to do. It's trying to do the work of both kidneys. Okay, so it's kind of similar to that in our community where these black women, I'm not saying all black women, but most of these black women are becoming more masculine in nature because, they're taking on the role with their children of being the father and the mother. How it got like that is a whole nother video. But I'm thinking that this trend is going to probably start affecting all races here in the United States of America. There's going to be single family households and stuff, and people are alienating themselves from other people because now, this is people friends. This is the new friend right now. This is the friend. Children are not socializing with each other. They're not going outside to play with one another anymore. No more physical play, which is creating more beast kids. No more human contact interaction with the other child, which is creating this newness of these people being desensitized. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's going on with these children. So we don't know what the future holds. And I don't know if it even looks too good right now, because these are going to be the children that will be opening doors for you, being your caretaker as you become elderly, because if you live, you're going to become elderly. So I don't know. I really don't know. People don't want to have anything to do with other people anymore. There's no more community that I'm seeing here where I am. People don't even really speak. Maybe they just go on their ways. Everybody is dependent upon electronics, which is not good, because like right at this moment now, these grids can just go out one by one. Most of these people do not know how to survive without electricity, how to survive without all of these conveniences. There's going to be a lot of mass suicides and a whole lot of wild animals. People will go back into their natural state. Our natural state is a wild animal. That's what we are. We're in survival mode. And if you don't know, you panic and you just go wild and crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be crazy, man. Whether that happens in our lifetime or not, I don't know, but it's going to happen. Okay? Because the sun is getting very aggressive right now. As you all can see, the sun looks like it's a tad bit brighter than it was last year around this time, And I was just feeling it from my window. I said, this is nothing but pure radioactive energy. It feels like radiation. A lot of people, how you know what radiation feels like? I work in a lab, where, I work with insemination fluid. I worked around some of the most dangerous radioactive particles known to man. So I worked in the lab, y'all. And it was in a hospital, and we would have all of those symbols for radioactive material. And if we would have at least once a week an alarm to go off for practice, just in case we had an accident. Okay. So I kind of got an idea of what radiation, a small amount of radiation feels like. Radiation is very dangerous. The sun's rays are very dangerous right now. You know, getting to the point now you have to go outside and you need some UV eyeglasses on to protect your eyes from the harm of those ultraviolet rays. Ultraviolet rays, look that up. They're very harmful. I mean, at one time, Caucasians had to be concerned about, just too much sunlight. But now all humans, because at one time they were saying that if you were really dark skinned, you were exempt and you couldn't necessarily get skin cancers and the damage from the sun because your skin protects you. But I was just out there now, man, and I ain't lying. I feel like I had a sunburn. I'm like, damn. Oh God, it was so hot. I mean, and y'all might not be experiencing this where you are, but I just know down here where I am. Once again, I'm close to the Gulf of Mexico. Man, that sun's so hot. It feels like being in a microwave almost. After you shut it off, you microwave something for a minute. You open up the microwave, you put your hand in there, you feel like heat in there. Only this is like time 100. That's what I felt just now when I went out there. So it's going to be a lot of people, and I don't want to put this out there, but it's just common sense. A lot of us ain't going to be making it in these hot summer months at the sun just turn it up a notch. I was talking to a guy out there in Jamaica. He was telling me, he said it's cool in the evenings. It's not that hot. I'm not sure whether this is something that's naturally occurring or because of all of this heart activity, HAARP, it's an effect from using those beams, I'm not sure, because I'm finding not everyone is suffering from the scorching heat. They may have the ability, just like they have the ability to choose what particular area they're going to let it rain in and which area they're going to let it drought in. They could be doing the same thing and they could be directing heat in certain areas because they have the science and the technology to direct that heat wherever they want to. At one time, Russia and the United States had a dispute over there. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if it was Russia angry because the United States was directing the heat energy beams in their direction. I think that's the way it went. Russia was upset, or vice versa. Yeah. So now, no longer do we need the bombs of Hiroshima, atomic weapons. We don't need that, If they want to eliminate you and wage war with you, it's not even a war. You can't even fight back. They can use the weather to accomplish that. They can wash you out with a flood. They can send a tornado after you got through building up and accumulating. They can send a cyclone. Just operating a mouse. I'm using this as a mouse, y'all. Just be sitting somewhere with a satellite GPS tracking motion system, and they can direct them cyclones wherever they want. Nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can do about it. They have control of the weather. And I still do believe that at the same time, too, they use a little bit of voodoo with that. Now, I know y'all saying, what is she saying? We know that Oya, O-Y-A, which is an African deity in voodoo, controls some of the most violent weapons. She is that violent weapon. And serving that deity, I don't even want to I don't want to use the word use. They can serve her to do some things, while you sitting here at the club popping. You know what I'm saying? Talking about who you gonna sleep with for the weekend and what you gonna wear to church and your outfit and your wardrobe that you got together to go to work. Are you doing bullshit like that, man? These scientists, these people in control, man, they go in these remote villages. They going to Haiti, man. They going to Africa, studying with these masters, man, to find a way to keep you controlled. So you get your hand on some money, rather than be blowing your money on this shit in America. Take your ass outside the fucking country and figure out what's going on, man. That's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to save my money up. I want to network with some people on the outside of this country, or network with some people inside the country who want some like-minded things that I want, and try to get out there and see what's going on for myself, man. Because you don't know what's going on inside looking out. You got to get on the outside and look in. Folks on the outside can tell you more about what's going on inside than you know for yourself. What if you were to go outside of this country? What would these foreigners have to say about America? You know what I'm saying? You can connect to a lot of people on YouTube, but it's just very limited. Very limited. It's the people that I cannot connect to that I'm more interested in talking to. I always think about that old saying my uncle says. He said, look, baby, if you're the smartest thing in your circle, even if you think you're the smartest thing in your circle, it's time to find a new circle. You know what I'm saying? Don't ever get comfortable in a circle of people. You got to always be changing it. You know what I'm saying? Always got to be going out, venturing out. You know, you can't stay in that too long. You can't learn anything there. It's so much I just don't know. I don't. And then if you find the right circle, there's no guarantee you're going to get in there. And that's the circle you're going to work hard to get into. Because all of this spending money and splurging, all this luxury shit to keep you pampered and pacified, it means absolutely nothing. And once again, I say to you, right now, if they were to turn off your power, the grid was suddenly go out. You can't contact anyone. They blacked out the internet. You can't hook up with none of your internet buddies. So suddenly, you know, your lights was to go out and the markets were to close. What would you do? We've gotten so dependent on electronics. You need a game plan. So, you know, it's homework for you guys. It's homework, you know, and that may not never happen in our lifetime. May not never. But it's always good to prepare. You know what I'm saying? To have a plan put in place. What's your plan? Do you know how to start a fire without a lighter? Have you ever tried? Oh, we're moving so fast with this technology, man. We don't have time for one another right now. We don't have time. We don't want to talk to each other, you know. And our children are growing up to be drones with no emotional feelings. It's almost like an artificial intelligence of beings out here being controlled by an artificial intelligence. That's what it is. It's like that. Anyway, so I just wanted to talk about that, and I just like to come to you all every now and then and do something a little bit different. And y'all, I know something about YouTube. We talk about censorship all day long, but the more I stay on YouTube, the more I learn and the more I figure out. And I say learn, I'm not just talking about learning from other YouTubers, but learning how they set your channels, not set your channels up, but how they control your channels. I've noticed that they will not allow me to go over 200 views within the same day, or in a 24-hour period. They don't really want me to go over 300 views. It's sad because I've had a few people to get on their devices and watch just to see if I was going to get some views, and I didn't get nothing. There have been times I have been on here and been on YouTube, just uploaded a video, and I think I said it before in another video. I would have 0 views and already 13 thumbs up. How do you get 13 thumbs up with 0 views? And whereas a lot of people say, well, it's no big deal, and honestly, it's really not, because the only thing that is important is that the people who are looking for this material finds it. But it affects it. It can make it difficult, because if you're on a channel and you're tagging your videos to be found in a search of certain keywords, and your videos are not in those areas, then you won't be found. That's another thing that YouTube does to my channel. I'm not trying to be victim, because there may be a lot of other people who are going through that too. So if I tag something for it to be under witchcraft, is not going to be there. The related videos are not going to be there. They're going to be in random places. Whether or not it's something automated through the computer, or if it has something to do with an individual there, remains to be seen. Okay? Like, I can tag this wherever I want to tag it. It's not going to be in that particular place. It is intentionally placed in an odd place. And I just want you all to just look at most of my videos, and just like the last one I did, just look at where that video sits. It's been tagged Voodoo, Witchcraft. It's been tagged all of those tags, but yet and still, they put them in odd places. See? These are what I call adversaries. A lot of you all have adversaries out there. What are adversaries? Well, it's deeper than you think. And when I say that, that means that's a video of its own. Adversaries are put in place like roadblocks and dead ends to give you a difficult time to reach your mark, okay? Because I really believe that success is just not, ultimate success is just not here on earth. It's something that we look forward to, or you may not be aware of this, but you'll see that on the other side. So they got to put a lot of stumbling blocks in your way. It's an entity. It's a spirit. Where they come from. That's the whole video of it. Where do your adversaries come from? Because you find them everywhere. I found them on so many different websites. I've gone to websites to, be a part of certain things and have been denied or have been ignored, and then I just look at it and I say, okay, these are adversaries. This is far more deeper than just YouTube, than just Facebook. Not to say I'm a victim and everybody's out to get me, okay? But it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? All day long, when you keep on running into these roadblocks. So in hoodoo magic, we use what we call the road opener, because there's a lot of people that are affected by just a tremendous amount of adversaries. And that's a whole nother magical art form right there that you can be studying up on. How to eliminate adversaries. First of all, get to know what is an adversary and how they are created, how they come about. And it's very important to study that art form of adversaries. Why? Because these are the things that are keeping you from being what you came here to be, or what you're going to be when you leave here. It's the determination of it all, So I want to do a video on adversaries, okay? And y'all don't go out there and try to beat me to it and try to do the video before I do it. I've seen that before, where I've talked about some things and say, hey, you know what, I'm going to talk about this, and then I look up and somebody's already done it. I'm like, dang, 2 days after I talked about doing it, it's done. I found out that you just really have to be quiet because a lot of what you say, the person don't even necessarily have to be there listening to you, but your thoughts travel. Your thoughts travel, your words travel in the wind, and people breathe them, eat them, and drink them. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said we all are connected. Whether we want to believe it or not, it's all one huge connection. Everybody is connected to this one source of consciousness. That's what we all have in common. When you're not conscious on this particular plane, you're now conscious on another plane. We're even connected to what's on the outside of this place, what's below this place, what's above this place. That's why they say so above, so below, or so below, so above. And it's real. It's true. It's true. Whatever you do here affects the universe. Whatever the universe does affects you, and what's below you, and what's around you, and what's above you. So, that's why a lot of people. That's why a lot of people study astrology. Astrology, astronomy. They can pretty much predict outcomes, what's going to happen just by looking at the stars. Because I think what happens is it happens there first. And once it happens there first, then it trickles down, and then we get the news. See, we get no news. You see what I'm saying? So we're all connected to that one source. Even the dead, which we call it the dead, but it's just a physical transition from one place to another, one consciousness to another consciousness. No consciousness can't die. It can't. Right now, the reason why I look alive because I am conscious. Okay? And once I'm no longer conscious, you understand what I'm saying? And there's so many degrees of consciousness. The most ultimate is the master consciousness. Okay? Those consciousness cannot be witnessed. So this is a physical consciousness you all are seeing. But there's another degree of consciousness, which is subconscious. And the most highest, the what? That is the master consciousness. The master consciousness can't die. It lives forever. It's infinite. Okay? So, whereas I may physically die here, okay, it creates a whole new consciousness. Because no longer am I in this physical shell, this material shell. I'm in that etheric copy of myself, which cannot be seen by the naked human's eye. But there are some people who have the gift to be able to see those people, see ethereal copies of people. That's another conscious. You go to another conscious level. Okay? So just because you say, well, my mom passed away and she's no longer with us, and everything like that. And we say that because we can no longer physically touch, feel, or see them. But yet still the presence of them is still there. Okay? It's still there. It's still around you. You just can't just reach out and just say, hey, Mama, I see you. Mama, give me a hug. And, because there's a world, but it's so real within your consciousness that is connected to a whole ethereal world of things. Nothing dies there. And that's the best way I can explain that. Okay? I've actually seen how they connect. It's like a well of energies connecting you to a whole nother place. Okay? It's very faint, transparent, and almost see-through. A whole nother existence right here in this physical matrix that the untrained eye cannot see, but it's present. So a whole nother world is interacting with me as I stand here and I speak to you. You just can't. You can't see it. You can't see it. Sometimes people can feel it. Feel that presence. Feel that cold spot. Feel that warm spot. You're connecting with that second level of consciousness. That's about the best way I can explain it. I think I want to kind of gather my thoughts so I can really present that to you. But it's a whole nother world in the consciousness, man, that you can't see physically with your eyes. And you are interacting with that. And that's where most of the ethereal copies, or the dead, so to speak, resides. It's still there. That's why a lot of people say, well, I died, I was clinically dead, and my deceased grandmother came and got me. And you're like, how could it be? Because she may have been reincarnated, for those who believe in reincarnation, and she may be now a caterpillar or something like that. But what I'm trying to say is this: that level of consciousness is not affected by anything. It exists regardless. And there are different levels, because you can leave that level of consciousness to go to another level of consciousness, to another level. Most call it the astral world. The astral world has so many layers. And you just don't stop here. You're going to go here, you're going to go there, you're going to go there. A lot of times in my travel, it's almost like I get stuck in some of those layers. But I'm going to talk about those layers next time. I've gone way over, so I'm going to upload this and I'm going to talk about it more later, okay?